Geelong and District Football League. We are the Raiders from all around Geelong. I'm here to tell you how football.
And welcome back, and it was great having Neville Whitley OAN as our special guest on the previous segment. Does a great job for footy indeed, and been the president of the District League for quite a while now. Okay, the big game on this afternoon. It's out at the Thompson Thunderdome. The Violet Crumbles, yep, they're taking on the Winchelsea Blues, who had a bit of a hiccup last weekend. And, well, match of the day, 94.7 from 1:30 this afternoon. I'll go to the commentator himself, Eric Nicholls. Eric, Thompson or Winchelsea?
Very good choice, Dick. Thompson and Winch. 9th and 10th on the ladder, or 10th and 9th, whichever way you want. 2 wins, 4 losses. A big game in the context of the season for both of these clubs. If they really want to get anywhere, we're a third of the way through the season, they need to do a bit more. Thompson depend very much on Luke Forbes, whether he's on ball or up forward. Jackson McLeod, due to get a bag of goals today. They played the best in the competition last week. They need to throw caution to the wind and go for it today. Winchelsea, Hermans and Mentz. They'll be a handful for Thompson on ballers. McKenzie due back, focal point up forward for some goals. To show some sort of credibility for their season, or their improvement to the season, they'll need to win today. But look, I think the home ground advantage, I might just go for Thompson.
Grubby, in a word then.
What?
Well, who's going to win?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not doing this game. I'll go for Thompson.
Have a crack.
I'll go for Thompson at home.
Oh, you go for Thompson at home. Fair enough. Okay. I don't believe it. Out at Footrot Flats, the Anarchy Roos, they take on the Bannockburn Tigers. And, of course, Anarchy finding a bit of form last week as Bannockburn starting to pick up their game now too. I'll go to you, Grubby. Out of Footrot Flats, can Bannockburn overcome the Roos?
Well, yeah, now this is my game, okay?
Thank you. Okay, all right, I'll get it right.
Yeah. Look, this will be a pretty tight game. Both sides have been up and down. Anarchy looked like they were playing pretty good footy at one stage. They had a couple of ordinary results, and Bannockburn the same. We saw Bannockburn a few weeks ago against Inverleigh, and they really looked the goods. And then they drop one and they win one again. Very hard to pick out here. Anarchy, they've got the big fella in Wilson. He's got a couple of games under his belt. He was struggling a little bit the last time we saw him. Corey Collins, when Rickett went into the ruck, the big fella, he was terrific out there against West that day and almost swung the game back in Anarchy's favour. Bannockburn, well, they've got Haggerbolls in the ruck, so, and he's a real workhorse. Look, very hard to pick. I'm going to go for Anarchy for the simple fact that it's out at Footrot Flats.
Yeah, and I think the Anarchy boys will be really playing their heart out.
Hang on, before you keep going, have a look at that photo up there. That big fat head, look at it.
I'll be quiet.
It's out of proportion, and yet the body's that big, and yet the head's still out of proportion. What a head! What a head! Go on, keep going.
Thanks very much. Oh, someone bring a fly swatter, will you? As I was about to say, the Anarchy Roos will be wearing black armbands this afternoon, of course, in memory of Sue Peters, and it was a magnificent funeral, if you can call it magnificent, on through the week, and it was just a very sad occasion. A great guard of honour by the Anarchy players, and a lap of the Anarchy ground by the hearse as well, and it was just one very special occasion for a very special lady indeed, only 49, far too young. So, now out of the Keith Barclay Oval, it's the North Geelong Magpies, and as I said, Cry took it up to them until about half-time last week. They don't want to take this Geelong West Cheetah side too easily, Eric, do they?
Certainly don't, Dick, and as you've just mentioned, after a slow, sluggish first half, North played an outstanding second half last week. Briggy wasn't fit, but Clark stood up and kicked 5 for them. Podner, Watts, very, very good. Hardeman back probably needed the game and will be better players. Really, it's an acid test for the West side today against what I think is certainly a top 2 team. They need support for Harrison, 5 last week.
He just did it, you idiot.
And Bradshaw need assistance in the midfield. Really, Geelong West need a good win or a showing today to indicate they have improved, but I think North at home probably be far too good.
That's all right. I was giving Grubby a belting off camera.
I'll go for North too.
Yeah, thanks very much. It's not your game, so don't even do that. Out at Inverleigh, it's the Encompass Cup, and it's for umpires with disabilities. A great occasion indeed, and they take on the Belmont Lions. Grubby, how's the Belmont Lions going to go out at Inverleigh?
Well, they'll be at home, I can tell you, but what's this Encompass, this umpires with disabilities? Like, is Brendan Beveridge going to be there, someone said? And I'm serious, what sort of disabilities are you talking about? They can all actually run and all that sort of stuff, so you know, maybe it's diabetes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We probably haven't been given enough information, I wouldn't have thought. But look, anyway, Who's playing?
Belmont Lions.
No, look, Inverleigh must have played very, very well last week. Change your coach. I spoke to Clayton Potter before the game. He was pretty confident. He obviously took over because he had to. I think they're going to lose something when he's not playing, because I still think he's their best player by a mile. But unfortunately, he's taken over Smithy's role. They obviously played a lot better. I know Werribee had a few players out, but look, they ran within about 8 or 9 points or 10 points of them in the finish, so that was a pretty good effort for them. Belmont Lions, well, they got flogged again, Belmont, at home, and look, they're not travelling too well. The big pop-top, the Canavan, he's back, he kicked a few goals, so hopefully a game under his belt. No, I don't think Belmont are good enough.
Fair enough. So Inverleigh Hawks do good out there at the Inverleigh Oval. This is a game coming up this afternoon that could have just about made a match of the day status, a replay of last year's grand final. A side that's been struggling all year up until last week when Ricky O'Toole came to the fore and booted 7 goals. East Geelong Eagles out at the Richmond Crescent Football Ground taking on the undefeated Belpost Hill Panthers. And suddenly, Eric, this game is of massive proportion.
Oh, it's massive proportions for East Geelong, Dick.
Absolutely.
Because, the difference between the two sides now as to what the grand final is huge. Belpost Hill, great attack, enormous defence, a very good side all round. East, they really only bounced back in the last quarter last week to get over the Belmont Lions. Ricky O'Toole 7, as you mentioned. But look, there's a huge amount between these two sides, and I think Belpost will win this afternoon and really make East's job very difficult.
It was a noticeable inclusion, Ricky O'Toole, last week, wasn't it? I mean, they've been struggling, and as Neville said, they've got a lot of injuries out there, but he made a difference, obviously, to come out and kick 7 goals as part of a massive belting of the Belmont Lions.
Oh, absolutely, and Johnson back in the side, he's a class player also, and they'll be great for East, but the difference between the two sides from last year's grand final, you just can't, it's incomprehensible.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but at least East Geelong now on a bit of a roll at the moment. You never know. Like when I get on a roll, anything could be destroyed in its path, so they could be going all right.
The whole city.
Shut up, Grubby. Our last game for discussion this afternoon is the Cry Devils, who went down to the North Geelong Magpies, but far from disgrace last Saturday. They take on the boys from the Quackenham, and I'll let Grubby talk about his Werribee Ducks, who's going to win.
Well, I tell you what, they were fantastic for 3 quarters last week, Corio. They really impressed me. The Burke boys down forward marked everything, and when they didn't, big Jason Hune was fantastic. They had Barry O'Toole in the middle, played him and Ricky Lazarick, a lot of strength. If Werribee Centrals can't get some players back, Corio are going to knock them off at Shell Oval. I did want to clarify one thing that Neville said in case there's any misinterpretation. The tribunal knocked off Ricky for 5 weeks for kicking on the evidence they received on the night, and that's the only way they can judge it.
Yep.
At the appeal, there was a hell of a lot more evidence which overturned it, which the GDFL tribunal weren't privy to, okay?
You must have been out the back having a smoke, because that's exactly what we talked about.
Well, I don't reckon he said it properly, because I sat here and thought Mick Robinson's going to come and annoy the crap out of me on Saturday, this afternoon.
The magistrate coming out in Grubby there.
Stop it. That's it for another show, folks. It's been a bit of fun, and we'll catch you all again next week. Have a great afternoon, blokes. You blokes, won't you? Yeah, great photo, Grubby. You'll get a photo like that, you'll be lucky, mate. Enjoy your footy, folks. We'll catch you all again next Saturday morning. Bye for now.
We are the Raiders from all around Geelong. I'm here to tell you how football is strong. Bounce the ball, let's get into it all until the final siren.